On motorcycle training concepts, we focus mainly on the fundamental skills, a lot like what they're doing down there. That's actually motorcycle practice that we did here locally. But today, what we're going to be doing is talking about some more road strategy using the after action review process. So right here, we got an intersection problem that I want you guys to have a good strategy for. And then also a motorcycle cornering strategy. Now, this is going to hopefully keep you safe out there on the road. So make sure you pay attention. Hit that like button so you can sign into class. Let's see if we can get at least 250 likes within the first, hour? 2 hours? I don't know. Let's see what we could do. All right, we're moving on. Low space cushion. Watch out for anybody. Watch his brakes. Go ahead and apply the brakes. Get yourself out of there. Stop fighting for that lane, man. You knew what he was going to do. You knew what he was going to do. Stop fighting for the lane. That's all it is. All right, we're going to go wide. Don't get close. You're side by side. Law of gross tonnage. Get yourself out of there. Moving on. All right, so we're moving into here. Now, what I like to do is maintain a good space cushion, okay? So once again, we're just going to mention space cushion real quick. This is your space cushion. So this way, if I had to slow down and stop, I can hopefully stop right here and not hit him. So if we were super close, I could hit him. Hopefully I don't. Also, what's going to happen here, this is our line of sight. So we're right in the middle, so we're in lane position 2. So what's going to happen is our line of sight kind of ends right here. Now, what I want is our line of sight. So if we're on lane position 3, we can see even further. But it looks like we can see pretty far, so his line of sight's pretty good. The whole thing is about planning a ride, position for safety. Okay, locate the hazards, adapt the hazards, navigate those threats if they can become a threat. So we're getting over here. He did a quick check because he saw something coming up in his peripheral vision. Very good with situational awareness. He did a quick little head check, so he did a little, glance using some peripheral. He's going to switch lanes. So we're going to switch lanes. Now, here's the thing. If somebody, and I know it's pretty hard to do all this at once, and this is why we do an after-action review. If you see anybody with their brake lights and there's nobody in front of them, more than likely they're making a decision to move a different lane. Okay, so if you look at an intersection, we should be in orange stage anyways. If they're slowing down in a straight line, their lane is supposed to go straight and they're slowing down, they're probably going to get into a turn lane. So we're going to get over here. And we're looking forward, and he's doing really good with his situation awareness. He saw something in his peripheral, But what we're not doing is seeing this in our peripheral. I mean, our circle of focus is probably this, or maybe even up here looking at this. That's pretty much all you can see with your focal point. Okay, it's about 3 degrees, not a lot. So when we look here, we scan here. You guys ever see those, what is it called? The eye tracking software, when people are playing video games, you see like that little bubble kind of moving around. That's the focal point, okay? So that's the focal point. Everything else is peripheral vision. Now, all we can see is on a screen. We don't see the full 360 or even, I'm sorry, not 360, 180 degrees if you're pretty good. The thing is, if our focal only stays here, only stays here, only stays here, only stays here, and only scans back and forth in our own lane, the thing we're missing is scanning here, scanning here, scanning here, scanning here, scanning here, scanning here, scanning here. That's what we're missing, okay? The peripheral fills in all of this. It fills it all in. So when it comes down to finding patterns, when you recognize a pattern with your peripheral vision where it's not in good focus, so let's say you focus on the mirror and all of a sudden you see a pattern like brake lights and this, your focal point should switch real quick. And then it should switch back to what's in front. That's what it should be doing. It should be constantly zigzagging back and forth. Use your peripheral as an advantage where you see patterns. So a side of the vehicle, okay? So a side of the vehicle. This is the side. Here's the brake lights. Here's the front lights. Jeez, that's terrible. So if you ever see a side of the vehicle, but your focus is over here and your peripheral sees this, what you need to do is go, boom. What is that? Is that a threat? No? Okay, cool. Back to this. That's what I want you to do. It's hard to show it here, but maybe I'll make a video on that specifically, and it'll probably be on motorcycle training concepts. So check it out. Links in the description. Anyways, move forward. He's going to go ahead and apply the horn. Now, that's not going to be a red stage maneuver. Horns are not in anything for that. It's only supposed to grab somebody's attention. It's not going to put you in safety. Right here, what we could be doing is applying the brakes even more, which looks like he's doing. Now we're in here. So you need to figure out, what are you going to do? What's your escape path? Are you going to accelerate to get out of here, because this is a threat, or are you going to decelerate? Now we're coming up to a turn. Do you want to accelerate into the turn, or do you want to slow look, press, and roll? I want to do slow look, press, and roll. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out of the equation. I want to slow down then. So what I'm going to be doing is doing some good progressive brake pressure. Progressive brake pressure will get yourself out of here, let them in, move on with your day. So typically what we see is a lot of people like to get up here and just stay side by side and defend their lane. Okay, law of gross tonnage says no, don't do that, you're going to lose. Also, a lot of people like to speed up and then look back and flip people off, but then they don't realize that there's a car like right there, or there's something right there and they're going to hit it. So usually, I'm going to say 80% of the time, the best bet is to progressively brake, downshift, let them in, end of story. So that's how I would solve that. And I got a burp, sorry. Excuse me. So don't fight for the lane because you got cut off anyways. Yeah, and then these people, you might be justified when the pedestrians are raising their hands like this. It doesn't matter if you're on the ground dying. All right, so cornering orange stage because we have low side issues. Cars, oh, corners are dangerous for motorcycles. They usually go too wide. So the whole knee down thing, I don't recommend it as a commuter rider or just you don't need to do knee down. If you're getting if you're getting so far down in your turn that you have to get your knee down, then you're going too fast. Okay, the only time you should be doing anything like that is on a track. Okay, I understand body positioning and everything, but you shouldn't be leaning so far that you need to get your knee down. So far, decent body position. The head is still center with the bike. You want to get it more off if you're going to be doing stuff like this. But the main concern here is I just want you to do slow look, press, and roll. If you're a new rider, or even if you've been riding for a long time, the fundamentals are the fundamentals. Slow look, press, and roll. You can start adding in trail braking and other things if you really want to. So the thing here is just go middle, middle, middle. Slow look, press, and roll. You have oncoming traffic, so if you're in the middle, you have a good space cushion from oncoming traffic. You have a decent space cushion to the right, too. Also, if you do slow portion, it's a better chance of not going wide because you're not pushing yourself and slingshotting out. And you can always add speed later when your nose is facing where you want to go and you can roll on the throttle. Practice, practice, practice that. Tell yourself that beforehand. Slow down more than you think you do or you need. So right here, we got ourselves in this position. He's kind of crossed up. His legs, his lower body's low and the bike is low, but his upper body is high. Okay? That's not a good thing. So he's going to get super low and then low side the bike. And this is, thankfully, that car wasn't a millisecond or 2 or 3 late because that vehicle would be in the path of travel of the bike and him. That's how dangerous these things are. That's why I want you guys to be safe. That's why I want you guys to be in orange stage and only focus on the safety aspect of it. Focus on your skill aspect. Don't focus on how to look cool. Don't focus on how to get there faster. Focus on safety because you'll just get there if you just stay safe. Because it's going to take you longer now to get to wherever you need to go, and you're going to have a bigger bill because of this. But thankfully, that car, like I said, wasn't a couple milliseconds late. Could have crashed into the front of that car, got ran over. That's how serious these things are. So a simple low side, simple loss of traction issue could have been deadly. Got very lucky that he didn't crash into that. Now, the one thing I want to point out that is really good on this, okay, so situational awareness might have been okay. Fundamental skills definitely wasn't. But acquiring and utilizing personal protective equipment was. So that right there is going to mitigate any of the injuries. Now, I don't want you guys crashing, so hopefully we never have to use that gear. But as a safety net, always have gear. Always, 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 always have gear. If you're going to push it or not push it, always have gear. That right there, if you made a simple mistake, no fault of your own, boom, gear is going to hopefully mitigate that issue. Part of being a smart rider is acquiring and utilizing personal protective equipment. So make sure you grab yourself a jacket just like this one from Revzilla using the link in the description. It's an affiliate link. It helps me out. No extra cost to you. Plus, it lets Revzilla know that the DDFM crew is pretty badass and they actually grab some gear. Anyways, click that link. I'll see you soon.